Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings for the Coach Al Holland Show. Charlie Pinson along with Coach Al Holland. And Al, good win this weekend.
It was a big one for us, and very proud of our kids. Overcome some adversity throughout that ball game because, it was back and forth. You got an early lead early in that game, and, you also had a block punt that went back for a touchdown, and you got out to a 14-0 lead, and then all of a sudden, boom, they fight back and tie it up, and then it's back and forth. And then to start the second half, it was we turned the football over on a kick return, just being careless a little bit with the ball, but trying to do a little something extra as well, So you can't fight the kids for that, and they continued to fight through adversity there, and came up with the last play and got that late touchdown to win the ball game.
Well, it was one of those situations where you try to run the clock out, get that last score, don't give them any time. That's what makes it tough.
Oh, it does, and they gave us a lot of time there because they tied the game back up. And that hats off to them. They got a good football team. They've been on the bad end of a few of those games like that this season, and Dewey's doing a great job with that football team. But we came up with one more play than what they did in that game, and I'm glad we came out on that end. But proud of our kids because we had an opportunity to sort of execute a 2-minute drive, and then leave them with no time left, hardly the 9 seconds left right there to be able to make something happen.
Al, we've talked about it before. Bluefield's a tough place to play. They always play us well.
Yep, and I don't know what it is over there, but at Bluefield they get up to play us, and it's almost turned into like a little bit of a rivalry game because these games are so close, whether it's at home or away. It's a tough environment to go over and play. It's 8 or 10 degrees colder over there too, up in the mountains. So, and it was a night game. So, proud of our kids fighting through adversity.
Absolutely. Looks like we're time for our highlights if you're ready to go to those now.
Had a bunch of great plays on the day, and proud of our guys early in the game, creating a turnover here, coming up and making a tackle here and knocking that ball out. Sean Cook, we recovered that one. Another big defensive stop here. Guys just swarming to the football, and that hats off to our back end there. Great coverage. Then here was Willie, and on a little power play for us down here in the red zone, and they've been good all year down there in the red zone. Made it tough on us. Bo, scrambling here, didn't like what he's seen, and great job out here on the perimeter blocking by Whitmore to sort of set that up for him. And here's our block punt right here. Chris Dublin comes through and blocks this thing, takes it right off his foot. And Green picks it up, and then Raekwon Birch here with the block down the field, and if we don't have that block, you don't get the touchdown. And a heck of a job by that whole unit there, and continuing to find ways to put pressure on those special teams. So those are game changers for you right there. Big play here, Jason Jones with the sack there, getting pressure on the quarterback. We continue to do it all night. Bo did a heck of a job here making a play here to Willie. He gets cut out in the screen for some reason, but it was a nice play up that sideline there. Dylan Wheatley, as we continue to talk, does a heck of a job for us. Never says a word, works his tail off every day. Look at him packing these guys 14, 15 yards down the field. Bo with a quarterback sneak, and you love Dylan Wheatley's attitude. Special teams, does everything for us. Anything you ask, he'll do it, and them's the kind of guys we like in our program. Another big play there by Jason Jones. Everybody running to the ball. Here was the touchdown to sort of take the lead right here late in the game, and X with a nice cut there, and that offensive line continued to put pressure on them. But right here was, 15, 18 seconds left here on the clock, and, Willie ends up being the blocker. You got JP pulling around through there, and Wheatley sort of sets him up and then gets it around the perimeter there for the game winner. And heck of a day offensively, defensively, and on special teams. But proud of our guys to continue to fight through adversity throughout the day.
Well, way to end your last road game of the season, come away with the big win. And now, you got a big game coming up this weekend, University of the Cumberland.
We sure do. And, we've won 5 of the last 6, and very proud of our effort when we went to Reinhardt as well. And could have easily came out on the other end of that one. And then now you got University of the Cumberland, where they've got off to a hot start this season and won their non-conference ball games, and are sitting right there at 13 in the country, coming to your place to play for second place in this Mid-South Appalachian Division.
It is, and that's going to be a big win. Of course, it's also senior day for you.
Oh, and it's a special day for us. We've got 18 seniors, and a majority of them here with us tonight, and getting to spend some extra time with those guys. But, you know, some of these guys, their career's been cut short due to injury and things, and the other guys, you know, have made it 4 and 5 years and been in the program, and that's what it's all about is changing their lives and, you know, helping them to set up their lives for life after football, whether it's continuing to play, but we want to have that degree at the end of the day, so that way we can help them to be successful whenever football is over with for them.
Well, that's true. That is the end game of it all. It looks like we're ready for our first break, so we'll be right back on the Coach Al Holland Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to the Coach Al Holland Show here from Buffalo Wild Wings. We're now talking with Jordan Owens. And Jordan, a senior wide receiver, you've had a pretty good career here.
I think so. I hope so. I've tried.
You know, 48 receptions, 549 yards, 3 touchdowns. In this season alone, you've had 13 receptions, 110 yards, average of 8.4 yards per game and a touchdown. So it's been a pretty good year.
It's been a great senior year. I've been really working, especially in the weight room in the spring. Took it seriously this spring coming out, and really took it seriously. This summer, though, I broke my ankle, but it was a tough one. It took me like 3 or 4 weeks, almost, actually longer than that to come back from. So that was an uphill battle, but we got over that.
Well, that's tough. You know, tell everybody where you're from, Jordan.
I'm from Eustis, Florida. It's about 45 minutes outside of Orlando, Florida. It's really nice and secluded area. So away from the big city rush and stuff like that. So it's nice and cozy.
Well, that's good. So you say we're talking about your family. I know you said your dad lives up in Port St. Lucie.
Yep.
And how many other brothers and sisters you had?
I got one older brother, one younger brother, and then one younger sister. So I'm the middle child, or the second oldest.
So who would you say is the biggest influence in your life growing up?
The biggest influence in my life right now, definitely right now, is my grandparents. They took care of me forever. They still do. That's who I live with right now in Florida. My mom is down in Florida also, but my grandparents are my biggest influence right now.
Well, you know, family is an important part of life. If you got good ones, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
And let's see. So when did you start playing football?
I wanted to play Pop Warner like every other kid does, but I didn't get to. Started off really late. I didn't start playing football until middle school. So I've been playing ever since about 7th grade up until now.
Did you win a lot of awards and things in high school?
Yep. From 8th grade on, I won a ton of receiving awards, and I played a lot of defense also. So made like all district my junior and senior year. So.
Well, you know, always the biggest question when you come from, of course, being a senior, you've been through it a lot, but when you first came in, what was the big difference coming from high school to college football?
Pace. Pace was huge, and just everything was like so snap, and it was like if you don't get this, you're getting left behind, and it's like if you want to play, you need to learn what you're doing. So that was the biggest thing was everybody maturing around me and like, how to learn the game.
You know, I think a lot of people don't understand that when you move into the college ranks, Jordan, it's almost like a job. I mean, you got a job to do, and nobody's pitting on you anymore, right?
No, that's the whole thing. There was nobody to really, pat your back and like, get up, let's go. It was, if you don't want to do it, you ain't got to be here. It was a wake-up call coming here and not having somebody to wake me up and get me up and stuff like that.
So what's your major?
Criminal justice.
You thought you might be a communications major. You're very well spoken, and the camera and the microphone doesn't really bother you too much. It's pretty nice.
Thank you. But
we're used to that. So what do you plan to do with your major after school?
We try to go into the DEA. My aunt currently has worked in the DEA for 20-something years, so that's definitely a field I want to go into when I get back home.
Well, that's interesting. You know, I've got a friend that works for the DEA and one that works for the FBI. So it's very interesting to find somebody else who's got that same plan. Of course, in Florida, I mean, a lot of smuggling coming in and a lot of DEA jobs in Florida.
So that's definitely something I want to do.
Well, that's very good. I enjoyed that. And now of course you've been here for 4 years, maybe even 5. Are you a fifth year senior?
Four.
So how was it when you moved away from home for the first time, though?
Different. Coming to the mountains is totally different from everything I'm used to. Flat ground in Florida and amusement parks and everything like that. It took time to get used to it. This place is home now. I'm so used to being around here. I've been all over Eastern Kentucky. Some of my best friends are from Eastern Kentucky, so I'm really used to it now.
Well, that's great. That's what we want everybody to do when they come here is become a part of our family and our community. And obviously you've been able to do that. But it's a lot different, though. You're right. What about snow?
Snow. See, I originally lived in New York.
Okay.
Until I was about 15 or 16, so I'm used to the cold weather.
Okay.
So it didn't really bother me too much.
That's one of the big things. Most of them coming in from Florida, they run into the snow and the weather.
They're afraid of it. I see so many kids now who come out to practice in hoodies and sweatpants. I'm like, it's not even that bad.
Yeah, I understand that. What's your favorite aspect of the game?
The excitement, just the thrill. Just being able to be out there and strap them up. Considering my last time putting them on is Saturday, it's just I've always loved the thrill of strapping them up, walking out to the field, just the crowd and everything like that.
What would be your favorite memory here at UPike?
Oh, definitely winning the Mid-South Conference Championship. It's got to be by far.
I have to agree with you. I've been doing it a long time. We've been waiting a long time to get that first Mid-South Conference football ring now.
That was by far the best one.
So what's your favorite thing to do here in Pikeville?
Play Xbox.
Nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the younger crowd's idea doing is playing. I'm sure I'm looking at one of the guys running the camera where he's going to think I'm like him. That's what I like to do. I'm all about this gaming thing. But who's your favorite NFL player?
Odell Beckham Jr. Odell. Big time Odell.
Well, he's a big time receiver. I understand that. So it's going to be interesting. And it looks like we're about done with the sub. Jordan, appreciate you stopping by. Was there anything you want to say to everybody out there?
Yes, sir. Just everybody come out and support Saturday, and everybody be here. We need it all for senior night. So.
Okay. Jordan Owens, wide receiver, University of Pikeville. That'll do it for this segment. We'll be right back on the Coach Al Holland Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to the Coach Al Holland Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We're here with Brad Cleveland, senior linebacker from University of Pikeville. And Brad, it looks like you've had a pretty good career, 101 career tackles. That's impressive.
Thank you.
So you grew up in Union?
Yes, sir.
Went to Ryle High School. What's Ryle's mascot?
Raider.
Ryle Raiders, okay. Yeah, we was talking about that. My wife grew up just down the street from Ryle High School. So come from a big family?
2 brothers, one older, one younger.
Okay, they both play football as well?
My older brother kicked in high school and then for a year in college, and then my younger brother has played football since he's been in high school. I would definitely say my dad. He played football growing up and was the one that introduced me. Actually, no, I didn't start playing until 8th grade, so I was about 13, 14 years old when I started playing football.
How did you do? Did you get a lot of awards and things in high school at Ryle?
My senior year, I made the all-star team in Northern Kentucky, and that was pretty much it. That's about the only award I had.
Ryle, what, 6A school?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Big school up there, beautiful campus.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest difference you found when you came to college versus high school, Brad?
I would definitely say, with football specifically, definitely the amount of time and dedication that you have to have towards football going from high school to college is definitely a lot bigger. It's a lot more important, and you have to put a lot more time into it.
Yeah, of course, you come from high school. You're the big guy on campus, the all-star, and you come in here, you're playing against a bunch of people with a similar background to you when you get here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speed of the game and all those good things. What's your major?
Healthcare management.
So what do you want to do with that after college?
After college, or after I get my undergrad, I plan on getting my master's degree, and then once I start working, I hope to get a job in either administration job in healthcare, whether it be at a clinic or hospital.
What are your plans? I was asking that. You're the big city and then moving here to Pikeville.
Yeah, it's definitely here with a lot more things happening going on around you, but I've enjoyed my time here, and I'm glad I came here.
So, do you all have you got a lot of individual goals here for your senior season? You're coming up on the last week.
I guess just to finish out the season with a win and good record and good team win, I guess.
So what would be your favorite football memory?
That'd be my sophomore year whenever we won a conference.
It's an impressive feat to be the first team to win a conference here for UPike. What's your favorite aspect of the game of football?
I would say the friendships and the brotherhood that comes along with football.
I know you have made friends for life here. A lot of especially your senior teammates. I'm sure you all will be friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite NFL team and player?
The NFL team is the Cincinnati Bengals, and my favorite player is Luke Kuechly. He plays for the Panthers.
I kind of figured that the Bengals, being that close, you probably got to go see a few Bengals games growing up.
Yep.
So what's your favorite thing to do here in Pikeville?
I would say probably just hang out with friends, either at school or
a bunch in the 4 years that you've been here.
Definitely, yeah. We've gotten all kinds of new things since I've been here. It's definitely grown a lot.
Yeah, I know the university themselves. You got the new optometry building. That's a nice facility, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So, what do you want to? What are you going? You going to go back home to try to work, or do you plan on moving around?
I graduate, but after I'm done with getting my master's degree and everything, I plan on going back home and trying to find a job somewhere.
There's a lot up there. You can work for St. E. or one of those people up there. There's a lot of healthcare opportunities up there. Looks like we're about to the end of this segment. So, Brad, anything you'd like to say to everybody before we leave?
Go Bears, that's about it.
All right. So Brad Cleveland, senior linebacker for the University of Pikeville. We'll be right back on the Coach Al Holland Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here with Coach Al Holland on the Al Holland Show. And Al, last game of the season, got a big opponent coming in here.
It is, and it'll be a special day for us. You got 18 seniors that'll walk on senior day. One of them is in graduate school and graduated this past May, so Cornelius Jackson. So, working on his master's now. Then you got Torian Brown that'll walk and look to come back next fall and start his master's. So, special for each and every one of these guys. Everybody's situation is different, and some of these guys will graduate here in December. Some will graduate in May. So, a special group of guys, and I've been very proud of them. Part of that championship team in 2016, and played a big part in our program as we continue to strive to move forward. But you don't have a pushover team coming in here this weekend. You got Cumberland's that's number 13 in the country, and it's a big ball game. So we got to be locked in at the task at hand because it's a very good football team.
Well, it's a different Cumberland team that we've seen in past years. I know they're going to run the spread and not the option, so
Right.
It's a little bit different for you.
They are, and they sort of made some transition this past season, and you've seen some different quarterbacks this season for them as well. The kid that's been the starter that started the season got hurt, and then now you see they got a graduate transfer kid from Southeastern University that's there, and then he splits time with another kid. So it'll be a little different look there. You got to prepare for a little bit of everything. They got a really good running back, and they're athletic on the perimeter. But defensively, it's a typical Cumberland's defense. They're going to get after you and try to be physical and make their presence throughout the day.
This should be a team that your defense is familiar with, practicing against a spread team like you are.
Yep, and they practice against it on a daily basis, and so you're getting a lot of similar looks in practice every single day, and it's good for our kids. So we feel good about the situation, but we're going to hone in for 60 minutes and play ball, and cannot turn the football over this week and put our backs against the wall. So. We got to be ready to play for 60 minutes. We got to do it offensively, defensively, and special teams, and we got to be able to change the field if it's one of those juggernauts where it's a defensive battle. You got to be able to change the team with your special teams to be able to help dictate the ball game.
Well, that's true. You've been able to do that a lot this season, especially with your punting and things, situational. So that's what you try to keep them on the long end of the field as much as possible.
we'll try to play all of our odds every which way we can and make them have to take the long distance. But it's going to be a different atmosphere. It's going to be a night game for us here late, and the last game of the season. So it'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff. It'll be a fun one for us. Our kids really enjoy these night games. We seem to have a great atmosphere for those, and there'll be a lot of family and friends in with each and every one of these kids and these seniors as we push to get to 7 wins this season. That hasn't been done very many times in this program.
Well, that's true. The program has struggled sometimes to get the big wins. But this game this weekend, a team that, if you look at them on paper, a team that we know you can compete with.
Yeah, and we sure can. And we know that. But we got to get out there and play for 60 minutes. We got to continue to strive to get better this week. And I feel like we've got better at the beginning of this week in practice and getting some guys healed up. And and that's the key. But everybody's banged up this time of the year. It don't matter who it is, wherever across the country. It's who can fight through adversity, who can fight through those bumps and bruises and get out there and play and execute the game plan. So it's all the way across the country. They do have a little bit of an advantage being off last week, but I like our advantage as well as we continue to build some momentum. As you win in 5 of the last 6, you got to play off that momentum, and sometimes having a break sometimes hurts you a little bit. And let's use that to our advantage this weekend.
Well, you're back in your routine now, playing, practicing the same, playing the same. You don't have that off week, which is always different.
Right, and so that's key for us. But I'm proud of our guys. We're getting a lot of guys some extra reps in practice as well too, and you're getting to see some new faces in practice and sort of building for the future as well as we continue to try to get better every single day. But been proud of our kids' effort all season, and they've been a fun group to coach, and been a special group because they had the opportunity to sort of fold their hat and sort of push everything away and say, hey, we're not going to fight through this thing, but hey, we found a way to come out of this thing and get this ship turned going in the right direction and doing things the right way, and it's carrying over not only on the field but in the classroom and off the field, and you're winning ball games and guys are buying in and doing it the right way, and that says a lot about our coaches, our players, and our support staff around as well too.
Well, Ella, we got a big game coming up Saturday. You want to see everybody come out? You got any final comments?
Yeah, we got tailgating with the Bears. It starts at 4 o'clock. Texas Roadhouse will be there with the tailgate this week. So get out there early, the first 400 fans, and it'll be a cold one. Bundle up, wear that orange and black, and let's support these 18 seniors in this football team as we try to push to get to number 7 this week. And let's see what happens here at the end of the year, and let's make some noise.
All right. Coach Al Holland, this is Charlie Pinson. We'll see you next week on the Al Holland Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings.